Welcome back out on the mushroom trail. It's another beautiful day out here, and once again, we're out east of the Cascades in search of one of our all-time favorite mushrooms, the Spring King Bolete. Let's get into those hills. Let's see what we see. So just moving up the trail here, we're at 3,260 feet elevation. We've just come out of a little burn area. We're starting to hit more mature, kind of undamaged forest. We've got lots of ponderosa pines, grand fir, and check this out. Just off to the side of the trail here, we've got our first flag. Beautiful reddish brown cap. If we look underneath, let's take a look at what that stipe is looking like. Here's that nice distinctive crack, and boy, look at that nice bulbous base. You can see that reticulation or webbing here on the stipe. That's very indicative of the Boletus genus. So this, of course, what we're after, the Spring King Bolete, Boletus rex-veris. You can see that that sponge layer has turned yellow. So when these are young, that'll be a really tight, fully white sponge layer that's firm to the touch. At this stage, this is actually, you can see, super soft. This one, if we were to give this a cut, it's not gonna blue like some of the other boletes, but just beautiful to see out here. Let's take a closer look. I suspect that this one's a little bit buggy, but we'll see if it's salvageable. Ideally, we'll catch these at a slightly younger stage. Once they're kind of exposed, that cap, there's a good chance that the bugs have beat us to it. What you'll notice on this too is as he's carving away at the stipe of this to get that dirt and debris off of there, what we're kind of looking for is a yellow surface. So if there's yellowing there, that's the sign of where these bugs, yeah, you see it right there. That's where the bugs have kind of planted their seeds to try to give that larvae a good chance to start life. So we'll usually carve all those yellow little chunks off to kind of prevent any worms from taking root, because they can strike at any time. But boy, that stipe's looking pretty good. Do you want to give that a center cut just to kind of see?
Loath to do it.
I am curious. I could see it going either way. Oh, looking perfect. Oh, this got me excited. We're gonna poke around, see if we can find some more of these, but that's looking ideal. And literally feet from that last find, I see what we typically refer to as a shrump right off the trail here. You may not recognize this, but you can tell that that earth has definitely been uplifted. If I swing around here, you can see just a hint of the cap underneath here. Let's go ahead and unearth this. Take a look. So we've got a pair of them. Oh man, actually, so one thing that makes these unique is that unlike some other mushrooms, these will really cluster. So you can see, look at this. Let's give this, oh man, and I can feel another one down here. Look at this cluster. Oh, and you see that white board surface, bulbous cap. This is the stuff of dreams right here. Just thrilled, and we were just getting into them. I have a feeling that we're gonna be filling our bags today. This is a thing of beauty. So cool to see. And I'm just gonna zoom in real quick so y'all can see what I mean by that white poured surface. We've got that reticulation or webbing on the stipe. Just beautiful, so ideal. So awesome to see out here. Spring King Bolete, Boletus rex-veris. And literally feet away, look what my buddy popped up. These are beautiful. See how these are totally tight, unfurled, so we see the cap still flush with this bulbous base. He popped up another one just right over here. So again, it's not super obvious. I think I see another one right over here. Oh no, that's actually a rock. But it's subtle, you know, like, so it's not gonna jump out at you, but it's a matter of just slowing down, looking closely, looking for those shrumps, and then unearthing these things. So awesome to see. I have a feeling it's gonna be an incredible day out here. Couldn't be more pleased. Just up here on the side of the trail, mixed in with all these Spring Kings, we've got another really cool one. This is the coral, Ramaria. Ramaria, kind of a complex genus. We've got a lot of different coral fungi out here in the Pacific Northwest. In the fall time, it can be a little bit like playing Russian roulette, selecting these to bring home to the table. But I believe that in the spring Ramaria tends to be pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and harvest this one and give it a try. Cool to see out here. Beautiful to look at. You can certainly see how this one gets its common name. Looking like coral sprouting up off the forest floor. Old splendor. My buddy just came across another Ramaria here. Look at that, just beautiful. Fleshy mushroom. Decent amount of weight there. Cool to see. And just up here on the forest floor, wow, take a look at this. This is what's commonly referred to as the pink crown, Sarcosphaera coronaria. Beautiful cup fungus. This one known to accumulate arsenic, so in spite of its beauty and reportedly being edible for many, many years, best avoided and just admired out here on the forest floor. What a sight. And here we've got a beautiful example of the sunshine Amanita, Amanita aprica. Beautiful cap, annulus, white gills. Always a joy to bump into this one. And check out this vibrant little guy. This is the wolf lichen, Letharia vulpina. And this is actually used to dye natural fabrics, a chartreuse color. Beautiful. So we're now up in a totally different area, just on an old logging road, up around 3,000 feet. And you can see that we've got a big cottonwood here, a black cottonwood. And what we noticed was a single wrinkled Thimble Morel, the Verpa bohemica, off to the side. And as we started to poke around, it quickly became apparent that there are, or I should say there is, an abundance of Verpas out here. So check this out, just on the other side, down here. So this was actually the first one that caught my eye here in the sun. And then as I started to look further down slope, another one jumped out here. And another one there. And another one there. And then look beyond this rock. Another and another. They're just all over in here. Literally everywhere we look. So this cottonwood is really kicking out the Verpas. So not necessarily what we were after here today, right? But you never know what you're going to encounter. So we're going to go ahead and harvest some of these and put them to use. But awesome to see out here. The wrinkled Thimble Morel, Verpa bohemica. We can see actually, I guess, well, I've got you on here. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look inside. So sometimes these are confused with true morels, but you'll notice inside we've got this pithy core. So that's one of the distinguishing features on this, something that differentiates it. And we can see this kind of wavy, kind of brain-like looking cap here. So beautiful one to look at. Let me put it up here so that we can get a little bit of a better view. So you can see it's got a lot in common with that true morel. But you'll also notice, especially if this were more mature, these are young and fresh, so they're pretty sturdy. If this were a little bit more mature, I'd be able to tug and this cap would come right off. So you can see how it's not connected to the stipe in the way that a true Morel or Marcella genus would be. There's a little bit of a disconnect there, but beautiful to look at. Excited to find these. We'll go ahead, fill the basket. And I just got done harvesting some of the Verpa bohemica. And take a look at this. So this, I didn't see this on the way in, so I'd actually walked by this apparently initially. But we see a lone false Morel, Gyromitra esculenta. So this is sometimes referred to as the brain mushroom. You can certainly see why. Look at all those folds and contours. Very cool. This is, you know, closely related, but this one, as I'm sure many of you know, contains gyromitrin, which is incredibly toxic. So this is actually something that'll convert over to an equivalent of jet fuel in our digestive tracts if we consume this. So I have heard of some people kind of living on the edge and working hard to prepare this with multiple boils of water, but definitely not something that I would ever consider doing, not a journey that I'm planning on embarking on, but very cool to see out here. Gyromitra esculenta, false Morel. So check this out. So just off the side of the road, we were actually driving on an old logging road, and my buddy spotted a pretty sizable flush of a mushroom that we wanted to stop to investigate further. So take a look at this. This is one that we've featured in videos past. Notice on this young one, we've got this dark cap. We've also got a partial veil that's intact. If we look at the older ones, right? So you can see this one, a little bit of the partial veil remains, but we've got that annulus or ring around there. And this one, some of you I'm sure recognize, this is the Spring Fieldcap, Agrocybe praecox. I know that some people eat this one. This isn't one that I've partaken in. It's one I'm kind of curious about, so we're kind of deliberating on whether or not to give it a whirl. But I've heard mixed reviews. So, and we're finding enough delicious edible mushrooms today that I don't feel like I'm coming home empty-handed. So thinking I might just pass on this today, but interesting to see. Really beautiful flesh. And I can tell that something's been nibbling on the cap of this. So cool to see, definitely a fair amount of weight. I can see why people would be interested in consuming this. So jury's still out, so we'll see what we end up doing, but just wanted to pause to point that out. Spring Fieldcap, Agrocybe praecox. So I'm just on the home front and wanted to emphasize a few quick things. So very successful day out there. Any day you find Spring King Bolete, it's a success. So now that we're back, I just figured I would focus on a few things. So you can see now that this cap is cleared off or cleaned a bit, you can see that it's this reddish brown color. We've got that white pored surface. And again, that's super tight, so we can't see necessarily all the individual pores of that sponge layer. When this gets older, again, it's going to turn a yellowish color, and those pores are going to be more distinct. Similarly, here on the stipe, you can see this clean example of this webbing, which we call reticulation. Now, as referenced out in the field, so when we're looking at these, this will kind of like, you know, cut or peel similar to the feel of a potato. And what we're looking for is a smooth white surface inside. If we see little flecks of yellow or color, we generally want to trim those off out in the field because those could be the eggs of, you know, fungus gnats or other kind of insects that are hoping that their larvae will get a good start in the world by digging into this mushroom that we want to consume. So anyhow, I'm going to give this a quick cut. So all of these look incredibly fresh. And what we're looking for when we slice this open is a nice, consistent white flesh all the way through. Yeah, and look at that, picture perfect. I don't see a single bug hole in this, which is, you know, just incredible, because the bugs oftentimes get to these boletes. They like them just as much as we do. So they tend to get to these pretty early on. So it's one of those things, if we can find them like this is absolutely ideal. So I just wanted to highlight that. If I did see this and I saw some little, you know, bug marks, or maybe the little black head of a little worm working its way through here, I would probably opt to soak it in salt water if it wasn't too bad. If it was too wormy or too mealy, I would probably just toss it and move on to the next one. But this particular one, it doesn't get any better than this. This is ideal. And if we take a look at this other one, I'm guessing it's going to be exactly the same. Let me give it a cut. Yeah, look at that. Just incredible. So pretty awesome. We were fortunate because I think that we found them at the right elevation and still buried underground. So we kind of got to them before the bugs could get to them. And so particularly nice example of the Spring King Bolete, Boletus rex-veris. So just wanted to show you that, and hopefully you all have some good luck out there and you come back with similar finds. Until next time, happy trails.